Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So in one of the previous videos we have discussed various points of data handling, what is data and what is information, everything we discussed previous one of the previous videos. So in this video today we are going to discuss about bar graphs. What are bar graphs and what are the various types of bar graphs and how to construct bar graphs. To draw a bar graph, we need a graph book or a graph sheet. So a graph sheet consists of two sides. One side is of graph sheet will be there, and the other side single rule paper will be there. On single rule paper you can write the question and solution part if you need any procedure. So you can write over there, and the graph sheet to draw the bar graphs or any drawing, any graphical drawing. So this is our graph sheet. It consists of number of squares. Each square will be of 1 centimeter. It consists of one square consists of 10 lines. So in the graph sheet you are able to see here number of vertical lines and number of horizontal lines. So these are horizontal lines and these are vertical lines. So in our bar graph construction, we need two lines, one specific horizontal line and other specific vertical line. So those specific horizontal line is known as x-axis and the vertical line is known as y-axis. So horizontal line means like this, horizontal line means like this, and vertical lines looks like this. So horizontal line is known as x-axis and vertical line is known as y-axis. Plural it is known as axis. Combinedly we can say it as x and y axis. This is our graph sheet, and this is horizontal line is known as x-axis and this vertical line is known as y-axis. And here if you are able to see, one point is there O. This point is the point of intersection of the axis. It is the meeting point of x-axis and y-axis. It has a specific name. What is that? Origin. O-R-I-G-I-N. Already we know, we have discussed that in basic geometrical ideas, points are represented by capital letters. So origin, what is meant by origin? It is the point of intersection or the meeting point of the axis and is denoted by capital O. This point of intersection or the meeting point of the axis. Axis means x-axis and y-axis. Like this. Point O. Here x and y, both the axes are meeting here. It is origin. So moving on towards our topic, bar graph. What is bar graph and how to construct the bar graph? So a bar graph are used to represent independent observations with frequencies. So bar graph is used to represent independent observations with frequencies. What are independent observations and what are frequencies? Let's see. So here in this tabular form you can see here two rows. One row is of students and other row is of their marks respectively. So here student A, student B, student C, student D, student E and student F are marks like this, 300, 250, 200, 150, 150 respectively. Here marks are nothing but frequencies. Here these numbers are nothing but frequencies. So to construct a bar graph we need independent observations and frequencies. So here in this tabular form these marks are frequencies and these students are nothing but independent observations. So these two information is quite enough for us to construct a bar graph. So let us know more about bar graphs. In bar graph, bars of uniform width are drawn. Uniform means equal. So equal width bars will be drawn either vertically or horizontally. So equal width means equal thickness. These thickness will be equal to all the bars. It can be drawn either horizontally, this is horizontally, and these are vertically, with equal spacing between them. With equal spacing. Suppose these are the bars. So these bars should be of equal width, and the space between these two bars should be same. How much distance is here? That should be same here, and the width should be equal to one another. And the length of the bars represents the frequency of the data item. So the length, these length, some bars will be of less length and some bars can be of major length. So these lengths dependent on the frequency of the data item. So the types of bar graphs. What are the types of bar graphs? There are two types of bar graphs. One is horizontal bar graph and other is vertical bar graph. What is the main point to differentiate horizontal bar graph and vertical bar graph? Only one point you have to remember. What is that? Let's see. The graphs in which frequencies are taken on x-axis. If the graphs in which frequencies are taken on x-axis, frequencies are taken on x-axis. To draw a bar graph, we need two things. One is frequencies and the other is independent observations. So here frequencies are taken on x-axis. If the frequencies are taken on x-axis and the independent observations are taken and obviously on y-axis, these are nothing but horizontal bar graphs. See here observations are taken on x-axis and the independent here frequencies are taken on x-axis and independent observations are taken on here frequencies are taken on x-axis and observations are taken on y-axis. So this is an example of horizontal bar graph. Vertical bar graphs. The bar graphs which are drawn by taking frequencies on y-axis, In horizontal bar graph, the frequencies were taken on x-axis. This is only the difference which you have to remember and you can differentiate it easily. If frequencies are taken on y-axis, this is vertical bar graph. If frequencies are taken on x-axis, that is horizontal bar graph. So here you can see each bar has same thickness or same width. Each bar has same width and it has same spaces among each other. It has same distance between two successive bars and this length represents the frequency of the respective data atom. Here frequencies are taken on y-axis. This is an example of vertical bar. Frequencies are on y-axis. Observations are on x-axis. It is an example of vertical bar graph. Those were about bar graphs and uses of bar graph and types of bar graphs. Let's discuss how to construct a bar graph with the help of two problems. Here first one is a survey of 120 school students was conducted to find which activity they prefer to do in their free time. Okay, so a school which is consisting of 120 students, survey was conducted on 120 students, and the survey was about what they used to do or prefer, what they used to prefer to do in their free time. So here in this table we can get our observations as well as the frequencies. So what are the observation is based on preferred activity and the frequency number of students. And what is the question? Draw a bar graph to illustrate the above data. It is not mentioned what type of bar graph you have to draw, only he is asking a bar graph. So you can select any one with your choice. Either you can draw here vertical bar graph or a horizontal bar graph. So let's move towards our solution or our construction. To construct a bar graph, first we need to draw the axis, x-axis and y-axis, and locate the origin. So here it is like this. Next point is frequencies will be taken. I am constructing here vertical bar graph. We are going to construct here vertical bar graph. So in vertical bar graph means frequencies will be taken on frequencies are taken on y-axis and observations on x-axis. To locate the frequencies, one thing we should be keep in mind, what is the maximum number of observation and what is the minimum number of observations. Why? Because in our graph sheet hardly we are able to get 15 lines or 15 boxes. We can locate 15 points or 15 numbers in our graph sheet, but the question it may be asked thousands and hundreds. For that purpose we should calculate each box should be numbered based on our required numbers. So let's see in our question what is the maximum number given there. In our question the highest number is 40 and the lowest number is 10. So in our graph sheet it is not possible to represent 40 numbers if we are going to take 1 2 3 4 in that order. So what we need to do, just change the scale. So what is that scale? Let's see. As I am unable to get 40 numbers in the same graph sheet, so what I am doing here, I am considering 1 square as 5 and 2 squares as 10, 3 squares as 15, means I am adding 5 5 5. So here 5 10 15 20 25 30 35 40, like that I am giving the numbers. So you can see here what is the difference between each two successive numbers. 10 minus 5 5, 20 minus 15 5, 25 minus 25. So the difference should be same. I am taking as 5 10 15 20. So here on y axis I am taking one, in the starting only we said that one box is of 1 centimeter. So here 1 centimeter I am taking it as 5 units, as it is not possible to represent 40 numbers if I take here 1 2 3 counting. So here I am taking 1 centimeter as 5 units, 2 centimeter as 10 units, 3 centimeter as 15 units. In our question, the preferred activities were playing, reading storybooks, watching TV, listening to music and painting. playing was preferred by 25 students. So that bar should represent to a height of 25. Reading stories were preferred by 10 students. So where is the 10 here? So like this, you have to construct the bar for the specific data item. Watching TV was preferred by 40. So like this, 40. Listening to music, 10 students. And painting were preferred by 15 students. So thereby you are done with drawing the bar. Only one point is left, that is mentioning the scale. I hope it is clear to you. Here the heights are representing the frequency of the data and width of each bar is equal and equal distance is there in between two bars. The last touch for our bar graph construction is assigning the scale. How to assign the scale? On x-axis, preferred activities were there. On y-axis, we have taken 1 centimeter as 5 units. How you are getting 5 units means in between each two successive numbers, what is the difference there? 5. 10 minus 5, 5. 15 minus 10, 5. 20 minus 15, 5. So like that you have to write the scale on x-axis as well as y-axis. So thereby it is the completion of one bar graph. And it is which type of bar graph? It is vertical bar graph. Why? Because here frequencies are taken on y-axis and observations are taken on x-axis. Let's see one more example. Second problem, the following table shows the monthly expenditure of Imran's family on various items. So here expenditure is given of Imran's family. House rent is 3000 rupees. On food the expenditure is 3400. Education 800. Electricity 400. Transportation 600. Miscellaneous means others other expenses is 1200 rupees. And the question is asked, construct a bar graph. Here the type of the graph is mentioned, so you have to construct specifically vertical bar graph only. If it is not mentioned, if the question is asked like the previous one, construct a bar graph means you can select, you can choose the type of bar graph by yourself. But here in the question it is mentioned vertical bar graph means you have to construct a vertical bar graph only. So in vertical bar graph, these values, frequencies are taken on y-axis and the observations are taken on x-axis and y-axis. Now see here, numbers are there in thousands and hundreds. So are we able to represent these numbers, these high numbers in our graph sheet? It is not possible. So like in the previous question also, it was not possible to represent 40 lines in the same graph sheet. So what did we do? So we change the scale. So here also we have to change our scale. 1 centimeter should be taken as either 100. You have to check whether if we take 100 it is okay. We are able to get the highest number is 3400. Are we able to get 3400? If we take 100, if it is not okay, then take 200. Our first step to construct a bar graph, drawing x-axis and y-axis and representing origin in our graph sheet. Next part, representing observations on x-axis and frequencies on y-axis. So here the scale on y-axis is taken as 200, 400 means 200 is being added to each number. 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1400, 1600. Thereby we are able to get all our required number. On x-axis, our observations: house rent, food, education, electricity, transportation, and miscellaneous are mentioned. And on y-axis, expenditure in rupees is mentioned: 200, 400, 600. Like by we are adding 200 to each frequency. Next step is drawing the bars of the given frequency. House rent was given as 3000. So 3000 is 3000 length bar graph is drawn against house rent, and food was given as 3400. So 3400 length bar is drawn against food, and education was given as 800, electricity was given as 400, and transportation is given as 600, and miscellaneous is given as 1200. Now see, we can see here our bars represent our bars length represents the frequency of each atom, and the width of each bar is same, and the distance between each bar also same. Final step is left. What is that? Mentioning the scale. After that our second problem also gets finished. Scale, mentioning the scale. On x-axis items were mentioned. On y-axis each unit, the difference between two successive frequencies we are getting as 200. So our y-axis scale will be 1 centimeter is equal to 200 units. So thereby we have finished our graphs concept, vertical bar graph, and try to construct a vertical as well as horizontal bar graph for this example. Take care. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.